Did you hear what Cashman said about the fans? Everybody, happy Saturday. So the Yankees are coming off a win versus the Cubs. We got Clark Schmidt back on the mound today, this afternoon. I do have the lineup for you too this afternoon. And it's an afternoon game today, afternoon game tomorrow. And for those that don't know, they play afternoon games on Fridays in Chicago. There's some kind of town ordinance that prevents them from playing night games on Fridays in Wrigley Field. I don't know why. It's a rule that they want to change, but it's part of the law there. So that's why they don't play games there on Friday nights in Wrigley Field. So some kind of town ordinance there. So, and I didn't even know, which is interesting. But Clark Schmidt's on the mound today. We got Garrett Cole's on the mound tomorrow. But I wanted to talk about Meredith Marakovitz interviewed Brian Cashman, and we got some footage of it. And, they talked about what's going on with the team, how they're navigating through this, how they're navigating through that, and so on and so forth. Normal stuff, right? But she asked him too, what do you say, to the fans who say you didn't do enough to add pitching at the deadline? And he said nothing really, right? Or nothing really to say. Well, okay. On one hand, I can see, fans would be, he didn't do enough, he didn't do anything, and blah blah blah. I can see the argument. He didn't get Tarek Skubal, he didn't get Garrett Crochet. Well, guess what? Nobody did. They weren't traded. So, and Jack Flaherty was moved, but the Yankees didn't like somebody. I don't know if it's the doctors. We don't know, right? So, somebody in the doctors didn't like his medicals. Therefore, they had a verbal agreement that they backed away from, and he went to the Dodgers. So we know that. Went to the Dodgers like 4 minutes before the deadline. So, and the only relievers of status, were Tanner Scott, who moved to the Padres. AJ Puck went to the Diamondbacks, and even Carlos Estevez went to the Phillies. And Yusei Kikuchi was the only other starting pitcher that was moved. And, he was fleeced. Well, not he was, but the Astros were fleeced by the Blue Jays. They paid a ransom to Kikuchi, so hopefully he accomplishes the goal there. And, maybe if the Astros play the Yankees in the playoffs, he is known as a Yankee killer, so it could work to their favor, for all we know. And Tanner Scott was sent to the Padres. The Padres also gave up their top 4 of their top 5 prospects for 2 months of Tanner Scott. So I know people are upset at the Yankees for not getting him. Well, that would have cost Spencer Jones, Jason Dominguez, Roderick Arias, and I think Chase Hampton. Okay? Would you have been willing to do that for 2 months of Tanner Scott? That's just a question, right? It's a question that I ask people, because I honestly, I want people to have these light bulb moments. I invite people to think before they react. There's so much overreaction on such bad information that's out there that it creates tense situations for people. And I can't blame Cashman for not listening to the fans who trash him on a regular basis. He'll ask. My person, I think he probably has somebody screening questions, and anything that's constructive and somewhat respectful, he'll probably look at. He's not going to look at the noise. Why would you? Who would? Who would? It doesn't do anything. So nobody's going to take you seriously if you're going to trash them all the way. And we get a healthy diet here on a regular basis from fans and people who specifically come from other channels. I come here and do a daily diet of, anti-Boone, anti-Cashman, and lately it's been anti-Holmes and anti-Gleyber Torres and even anti-Verdugo now. And the anti-Verdugo sentiment is going up a lot right now because they got to figure out a way to justify getting Jason Dominguez up here. I get it. That's part of the fans' argument. I get it. So, but anytime something, comes up that's not favorable to Jason Dominguez, people flip out, right? And the argument is kind of confusing. Some folks are saying, they're saying the same negative stuff. Got to fire him. He's the worst. He's a bum. Names and everything. Blah blah. But as soon as something comes up that's not, favorable to Jason Dominguez, it's like, why are you hating on a boy? Why? And blah blah blah. I didn't even write the article. Someone else did. I just shared it for you. Why? Because I committed from day one, for those that know me, to give you both sides of the story, good and the bad. Sometimes the good news comes out first. Sometimes the bad comes out later, or vice versa. Sometimes the bad news comes out first and the good news later, right? It just happens that way. We really can't control it, but it's important to get the full story. I want you to have these light bulb moments in your head. You're like, okay, now I have a better understanding of either the situation or why people are acting the way they are, right? It gives us perspective. And to me, perspective is valuable. Overreaction is not, especially on bad information, okay, or incomplete information. People are entitled to their views. They're entitled to vent. They're always entitled to vent here as well. So, but if I happen to counter it with facts, and that upset a lot of people, I'm not doing it to trash a player or to trash somebody. I'm just presenting the facts. Facts tend to do that, right? They're not a sexy thing, but they counter the talking points that were fed on a regular basis by a couple of people, or they counter the propaganda that were also fed on a regular basis by a couple of people. So it just is what it is. I'd rather stick on the factual side, and I don't always like the facts. I don't, but it's important for me to give them to you. Okay, I want you to have a bigger picture, a better understanding of what the hell's going on and why it's going on, right? So that we're not just repeating someone else's stuff, especially when they're doing it on bad or incomplete information. So I don't find any value in that. So, but people can do it whatever they want, right? People can formulate their own opinions, and so that's totally fine. People are entitled to that, right? But I'm going to continue putting out the facts. That's what I've committed to. Okay, people might not like it, but those are the facts. It's fair to the people who do care about the facts. Okay, I want you to know as much as possible about what's going on with these guys. Okay, like Brian Hoke's reporting yesterday that Alex Verdugo is recently hitting 340 or 341 in his last, I think it's 12 or 13 games, right? Which is probably a reason why Dominguez hasn't been called up yet, because Verdugo's bat's waking up, and we know he's an elite defender. So that's probably why. I can't confirm it myself, but common sense would tell us that's probably why. Okay, and do you want to bring up Dominguez here for him not play? And even Aaron Boone said, when he comes up here, we want him to play every day. I do think he's going to be the starting left fielder in 2025. There's no doubt about that. Okay, as he should be. This year, I'm not sure, because they traded for Verdugo after Dominguez got hurt. Got Tommy John surgery. He's going to miss a good chunk of the year, which he did. Then he came back. He got hurt again. Okay, now he's lighting the world on fire. All right, so good for him. Let him continue to be productive. And if he gets an opportunity, come up here before the season's over, I'm going to cheer for him every step of the way when he's up here. Okay, but pointing out a fact that was written by someone else is not hating on the guy at any point. Okay, it's just a fact written by someone else about scouts who called them out. Scouts, the people who are the only ones, for the most part, have eyes on this man every single day. Beat writers do not. Fans do not. Okay? And no, channels do not have people on the inside there. Nobody does. So let's stop speculating like we do. Okay? This is just the real stuff. And again, to me, real talk is giving you both sides of the story so that you can formulate your own educated opinion. That's important to me, and I hope it's important to you. I understand if it's not. I understand people want to base their opinions on whatever. It is what it is, right? That's okay. And me pointing out facts is not me attacking you either. It's just me pointing out facts. Okay, I'm not always happy about facts either. Okay, and I understand if you're not. It's just part of the game. And again, we're dealing with a hornet's nest of bad information on a regular basis, misinformation when it comes to the Yankees. And yes, like I said, a steady diet of fire Boone, fire Cashman. It's a non-stop, repeatedly, every day. Right? And people are talking about Dominguez on a regular basis right now. He's better than Verdugo. But I mean, they're playing at different levels, so it's just really hard to confirm that. But I understand the argument. I understand what people are saying. But the fact of the matter is, he's not up here. I don't have the power to call him up here. Okay, the Yankees do. So that's on them, right? So, and yeah, I wanted to just point this stuff out because, people come on all the time and call me a hater and all this other stuff. Why are you hating on Dominguez while I'm hating on Boone and Cashman every single day? Because that's the argument, right? I'm not hating on Dominguez. I will be cheering for him every single day when he's up here. I hope he gets an opportunity. Somebody actually said I don't like Latin players, which is complete baloney. I was fanboying on Juan Soto, and I'm still fanboying on Juan Soto. I'm excited about Hill, and I'll be excited about Dominguez when he comes up. But he's not here right now. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay? And these are the facts. You know, I know people are upset that Verdugo's bat's waking up. It is, right? If it helps the team, then I'm happy. Just like Gleyber Torres. People have been hard on him for months. Rightfully so. But if his bat wakes up like it's been recently and he helps the team, then so be it. Right? That's it. I mean, like I said, I'm going to ride or die with this team. I don't abandon them when they're bad and just stick with them when they're good. You know, we live in this environment that when the Yankees win, you credit the players. When they lose, you blame Boone and Cashman. There's so much left out of that argument. But that's the narrative we're being fed. Right? That's why I don't listen to the noise. Okay? I sometimes counter it with facts. It pisses people off, and I'm going to continue to do that. I like the facts are more important to me. So is the team more important to me. I want the team to do well, just like you do, just like the other fans do. Okay? We're all collectively part of this same Yankee fan family. We go about it differently, and that's totally fine. I'm going to go about it in a level-headed way every single day and not any other way. I'm not going to overreact on emotion, on incomplete information, or because someone else said this, that I didn't bother to fact check, right? When I put out something, you have articles supporting it, okay? These are not opinion pieces. The facts are there, okay? Speaking of facts, here's the lineup. Gleyber Torres is on the mound at second base. Juan Soto's batting second in right field today. Aaron Judge batting third in center field. Austin Wells is at the dish where he belongs at cleanup. Giancarlo Stanton's batting fifth at DH. Jazz Chisolm batting sixth at third base. I like the righty-lefty thing. 3, 4, 5, 6. I like that. And then Rizzo's batting seventh at first base. Anthony Volpe, shortstop, batting eighth. Alex Verdugo's batting ninth in left field. And on the mound, welcome back, it's Clark Schmidt. Okay? Yankees clearly need to fine-tune things in the rotation and in the bullpen. For those that haven't heard, not only is Clark Schmidt back, but so is Ian Hamilton. And the Yankees, as corresponding moves for these two guys, they optioned out, or they DFA'd, I should say, Phil Bickford and Nick Birdie. Now, when you DFA somebody, if they accept their assignment, they go to the minor leagues. So they'll most likely have these guys in AAA. If they refuse to accept their assignment, then they become free agents. So it's up to them to decide what they want to do. But more than likely, we'll see these guys in the farm. So it's that the Yankees need to call them up later. They can. And Nick Birdie, let him continue to get healthy. He's one of our flame-throwing older guys. So he can bring some gas. So hopefully he stays here. But that's the lineup, gang. And there's a little bit more clarity on the Cashman. I mean, let me know what your thoughts are on what Cashman said. Okay? And I invite you to listen to what he said. And again, Meredith Marakovitz asked him a very specific question. He didn't just say, I zone out the fans. They talked about what you didn't do at the deadline when it comes to pitching. Okay? They also did get Jazz Chisolm, the best position player, at the deadline as well. So which he's been nothing but fantastic here. Short of fantastic. So I'm very excited to have Jazz here. And I'm hoping that these reinforcements, like Hill pitched great yesterday. Hopefully Schmidt pitches great today. Hoping that these reinforcements continue to add to the Yankees and make them better. 21 games left, baby. 21. They're 81 and 60. So they can't have worse than a 500 season this year. So, which is good news. I didn't expect them to anyway, but it's good news. But again, give me your thoughts on the Cashman comments. Let me know what you think about the lineup. Do you like the lineup? Would you maneuver it around a little bit? And I'll just point to that. I would like to see Oswaldo Cabrera get more opportunities to play as well. I'm wondering if they're going to option him out because he has options left when Nick Birdie comes back. I'm wondering if that's going to happen. I don't know if it will, but I'm wondering if that's going to happen. That's probably an unpopular move too. But I like Oswaldo Cabrera. I like the energy that he brings here, but I also like the energy that Jazz brings here, that Duke Ellis brings here, that John Birdie brought when he was here. So I like the energy that these guys bring too. So collectively, I just want this team to win, man. Hopefully they do. Have a great day. We'll talk to you at the live stream after the game. Hopefully celebrate a win. Go Yankees.